Hello, my DevNation friends. Welcome to a new DevNation, the show. So it's almost Halloween, so I thought let's put some funny, no red hat. My red hat is still there. And yeah, I hope you are doing well. A lot of people are there, actually. And I checking the chat. Subash is there. Hi, Subash. Stefan, Sun, Mike. Hi. Don't be shy. Say hello on the chat. We love to have interactivity. In a few seconds, I will bring my guest on stage. But I'm so happy to be here again. Yeah, well, how are things? Let us know on the chat. Remember, this DevNation show is a moment to relax. Just lay back in your chair. Well, I'm standing here right now, so I could go in my chair, but you won't see me anymore. And yeah, and I see a lot of people suddenly say gold spider head. Yeah, and you know what? Actually, I could turn it on, but it doesn't work. Probably the battery is empty. I don't know. But this one works. Look, I will probably turn it off because it's already driving me crazy. But anyway, welcome to a new edition of the show. A show number, I should count how many shows. Maybe 32, 33, something like that. Okay. Let me bring our guest to the stage. I'm really happy because it's also a really good friend. Let me bring Philippe to the stage. Oh yeah, my trackpad is not working anymore, so I have to use my Mac. Yeah, so hello. Philippe.
Hello, Seb.
How are you? How are you?
Fine.
Yeah.
Like a French guy that will speak in English.
Oh, it will be all good.
Okay.
Will be all good. All good. Thank you so much for being here. And that's the first question that I always ask to my guest is, well, Philippe, who are you? Introduce yourself. Take the time you want. The stage is yours.
Okay, thank you. So about my day-to-day job, I am a technical account manager at Gitlab. And what is a technical account manager, or shorter, a TAM? It's like being the Alfred of Batman, in fact, but the customer are my Batman, or the customers. So I am part of the customer success team, in fact. So if a customer is lost, you just have to call me or to ping me and say, please help.
Okay.
It's simpler.
It's simpler. Yeah, that's something we heard. I didn't knew until last year about customer success position, and that's something that we hear a lot now. So yeah, you try to keep the customer happy as well. No?
Yes. And I try to give them love.
Okay.
And to be sure that they won't churn, in fact, to go to a competitor, and try to help them to use more and more the product, or better and better the product.
Okay, and concretely, how do you do that to keep them happy?
In fact, it depends of every customer. They haven't the same habits, so I have to find a different way for almost every customer. So sometimes it's only a cadence call every month. And sometimes it's to set up a workshop, a hands-on, present the new features, help them for example, if the discussion with the support team is too long. I'm here to make this smoother.
Smooth, yeah, to make okay. It's a bit like what I do as a developer advocate. I always say I try to keep developers happy. So at least developers, but you have.
I do the same, but only inside the customer's company.
Yeah. Not so much for the community. So you're working for Gitlab. You are not our first guest from Gitlab. Well, almost 1 year ago, I had on the show. Remember his name? Brendan. It was cool. It was super cool.
He is a developer evangelist at GitLab.
Evangelist. You call them evangelist at GitLab?
Yes, but don't ask me the difference between an advocate.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't know.
We already had discussed that with other guests. So So okay, so
And outside my work, if I'm not cycling, cooking, or having drink with friends or with you, my main occupation is to create side projects.
yes, exactly, and that was the title of this show, the description, because I know you from a few years now, and at every conference you were submitting or talking about something completely different, always crazy stuff. I think there was the first time I met you, you were doing, could it be with drone? No, not with drones, but it was with small devices. I don't remember.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was at Riviera Dev event.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And I was playing with my laptop and different various IoT objects, but the main one was it was a ball
Oh yeah, the ball.
with light. I cannot remember the name, but I was able to move the ball from my laptop and change the colors and display widget with graph on the screen.
Oh yeah. So that was crazy. So yeah, let's discuss about side project, because just in general, and then we will focus on your side project. But because side project is something that all developers speak about, and we always have ideas and things that we try out, and most of the time we never finish our side projects, or we have a lot of ideas and we just create the project and it stays empty. And also some people, they get worried if they don't do any side projects. They say, oh, am I a bad developer because I don't do any side project? So in my opinion, no. If you don't want to do any side project, don't do it. It won't impact negatively your career, I think. If you do, impact it in a good way, but if you don't do it, it won't impact. No? What is your opinion on this?
My opinion is that doing side project is a hobby, in fact. So if you don't like it, don't do it. It's not important. The important thing at the job is just do your job the most good as possible. In my case, it was special because I have a gap of skill to reach or lack of skills. I didn't start for my studies at the beginning in the IT. I start with a preparatory school to be veterinary.
Okay.
So and I failed. After I did business school, I was successful. So I have a kind of MBA in management and finance.
Yeah.
But I never use it. And after I did I don't know in English, a kind of master.
Okay, master in. Oh, we did the same. No, iOS. No, was that it?
No, it was it's the degree level, so it's 5 years after the baccalaureate.
Okay, yeah. Oh, a master. Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
so.
Master in IT this time.
Okay.
But I start with a lot of lack of basics. So for me, for example, when people are talking to me about binary, hexadecimal notation, etc., it's like a hieroglyph for me, for example. And the side project are, and even the different layer for network, for example. And so the side project is a good opportunity for me to learn what I
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that might be my first question. Do you do side projects because you have an idea, you want to try it out, or do you do a side project because you want to learn a particular technology, or is it, or it depends, or
it depends. For me, side projects, it's a science, and I think there are three main categories of side projects.
Okay.
The first one, most of the time, and I think it's the most current category, it's the doing a quick proof of concept. You have something to validate, but be careful. Often it goes in production and it's not a good idea. But a lot of projects started like that. The second one is is probably more ambitious. Often you have an incredible idea and you are sure that you will become very rich with it. So you create a new side project. But this side project will never finish and you will never be rich. But never mind, it's a way to learn. And the third category for me, and it's my favorite, it happens when effectively you decide to learn a topic, and often it will generate a lot of other side project babies.
Yeah.
I will learn things useful for my job or for other projects. I will fill my technical gaps about my studies, like I said just before. And at the end, I will able, and probably it's the most important thing, I will able to share what I learned during my different side projects. For example, when I start a side project like that, after I have a presentation for a meetup or an event, I can start hands-on very easily because I spent 1 month, 3 months to try to understand something. And it's a pity to not share this because I'm sure that some people have the same problem and perhaps less time or energy than me to learn it. So it's a gift. And very important too, it allows me to do a lot of blog posts. And for my job, it's important. I like to write.
I know that, and I love the fact that you never keep your side project for yourself. You always share it. And speaking of your third category of side project, when you want to learn a new technology, I remember last year I was giving a deep dive about Knative, and you were attending it, and you were discovering Knative for the first time. And after 3 days, you were sending me private messages. You already had created a complete crazy stuff with where you could upload functions wrapped as a Knative service. I think it was something like that.
Yes, you have a very good memory.
And
finally, at the end, I was able to do a presentation with my friend Louis Tournaire about Knative at Jack Summer Camp.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. And you always finish with a presentation. And you say you like to write blog posts, but one funny thing about you work at GitLab, but you really use GitLab for everything as well, including your blog posts. And if you go on your Twitter page, I will share the link, and you go on your Twitter, on your GitLab page, the title is "Issues Are the New Blog Post." Something like that. So
in fact, I love dog fooding. When I love the product, I love dog fooding, in fact. But the story of that was about I used ViewPress for my blog, and a weekend I wanted to do the update of ViewPress, and it was a mess. All the CSS styles disappear. I was unable to fix it. So I dropped my blog post. It exists, but I didn't do anything anymore on it. And I start to write my first blog post with an issue, because finally, my posts are always about programming or technical stuff. So what I need is color syntax in the page. It's in the issue. I prefer to write with Markdown. It's in the issue. And I can prepare my blog post in advance because I can create private issue, for example. And I have even milestone for my different blog posts, label to help people to retrieve the appropriate blog post about Raspberry Pi or Knative or something else. So for me, in fact, it's the easiest way to write something. People can contribute by adding comments, and I don't care about the style. In fact, the not the style of writing, but the
look and feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
finally, I'm writing more posts with issue than before with ViewPress or Hugo or other framework.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a tip for everyone. If you want easily block or talk about your project, you can use GitLab issues instead of setting up, I don't know, a WordPress or any blocks.
You can use GitHub issue too if you have.
Or you can use a GitHub issue too as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Let me just take a look at the chat. Is there any remarks? So they are chatting. Sun I saw something. Sun speaking. He was remembering a side project with Golo. Yeah, you did several.
It's not a side project. It's a real project. In fact,
it's a real project.
And it's not. I'm not the father of this project. Golo is.
It's Julien Ponge.
The language, yes. Golo is a language. It's based on since the beginning. It was based on Invoke Dynamic in Java, and it was a research project from the doctor. It's his nickname, but from Julien Ponge. And I'm a core committer on this project, but it's not a side project. It's a real project.
It's a real project, Sun. Okay.
It's very important.
So very important. Yeah. I saw Stefani was saying, I have an entire cemetery of side projects. Yeah, I think we all have that. So I'm sure it's the same for you, Philippe. You also have some side project that you just abandoned?
Yes, yeah. You need to have a process or a methodology to handle this. It's important to not dropping or delete a side project, because 6 months or 4 years after, you will remember that you have a piece of code very important in it, and it's a pity to drop it. So it's most of the time when I start a project, it starts with an idea. I don't create a project directly linked to my handle. I create a group or an organization if you are on GitHub. On GitLab, I have the chance to create group, subgroup, etc. But it's very helpful because you can have a kind of structure of your project. For example, if you split it in different layers, or if you start with a library and a main project. So it's easier to use. And other interesting thing, when you use a group, you can, if you are lucky, you can federate a kind of little community on your side project. And it's why it's important to put it in a group and not in a simple project. And in this group, I always add another group. So you cannot do it on GitHub. So you have to create 2 organizations in parallel, but at the same time. I always add another group name. I name it Attic or Cave. And when my projects are too old in this group, I move it in this group, in the Attic group.
Okay.
So I have a feeling of order in my group, and Attic is a kind of old backlog or bucket, I don't know. But every time I deleted a project, some months after I will need it, and it was impossible to retrieve it, because sometimes your code is very bad because you just spend 6 hours just coding. But inside it, you had some good ideas. So keep your project. In fact,
never delete them, and always document them, because
it's another rule. Do it add some markdown file with all the documentation, how you are doing the setup, what are the dependencies, and even in the code, explain what are you doing. I remember some piece of code in my project, and I don't know how to change the code. It's too complicated. I'm unable to understand what I did, in fact. It works,
Exactly.
but it's ugly, and I cannot change anything. So please, don't forget to document everything. And I have another process. You are not obliged to do that, but I never start anymore by coding. I start by creating an issue, for features, ideas, questions, and I document all in the issue. And after, if I decide to do it, I transform it in a merge request or pull request, and I start coding.
Okay,
Then
interesting.
my side projects finally are becoming more useful than before. Before, I was just working on the main branch, and you are working all the night because you have a great idea, and on the morning you discover that you did a big mistake, but you did just one big commit,
Yeah.
and you cannot retrieve what you did before. So give love to. It's important to give love to your side project like a real project, in fact.
Yeah.
And sometimes your side project will become a real project, or you, for example, I use some of them to share some tips with my buddies at work, because they are looking after a script to do something with the GitLab issue or the GitLab CI. And I'm able to, without any shame, to give my project with the documentation, with the explanation, etc. So it's very important, and it's a training for the real life, in fact, the real work.
For the real life. It's like it's a good habit to have, and you should try to apply it even for your side projects. I really like this.
I
This
even
spirit.
got release for some of my side projects.
Okay, you've released this. Yeah. And I totally understand when you say, commit often, push early, push often, as we say with Git, because as you said, sometimes you want to go back because nothing is working anymore,
But
you have one commit, or you haven't pushed any it, or the local history has disappeared, and
small commits are the solution. This is the way. But I was the nightmare of Julien Ponge and Golo, because sometimes I did a commit for not every line in the code, but almost. And when I push, my code he was a little bit upset with that.
Yeah. Let me check a look at the log. Well, it's a log, but it's a chat. There's hi Noah. Noah is there. Noah is also a fellow follower of all our streams, including your streams. But Moani says, my side projects on COVID with Python. Oh, that is interesting. So Mohan, if you want to tell more about it in the chat, what is your side project about COVID? Is it monitoring stuff or Python, maybe some data science? And Stefan say Git power. Yeah, Git power. And no need to finish the side projects. Yeah, no need. Yeah, we talk about that. If you don't want to finish it, don't worry. Philippe put it in the attic. And did it happen that you stopped a project and that someone else from the community that you created continue on it, or not?
No, never.
No, okay. But
no,
that would
probably happen. I'm not sure it would be a good idea. I'm not a real programmer, a real developer since a lot of years, so I'm very opinionated on some things. So perhaps could surprise some people. I don't know. I I should ask people to have a kind of vision and give me advice about my source code, explain me if I'm doing the things well or not. But often Julien accepts my pull request on the Golo project, so I'm not totally lost. And the project is incubated at Eclipse. It's an Eclipse project. So.
The Eclipse Foundation. So it's serious stuff. Yeah. Exactly. Do you always do one side project at a time, or do you have a lot of?
No, I have several side projects at the same time.
Yeah.
I try to limit that, but for example, I try to limit the number of topics. In fact, probably more than 3 years ago, all my side projects were related to function as a service. So only one topic, but I learn a lot. And in fact, at the beginning, I pretended to write a fast platform better than what already exists. And every time I failed, but I learned a lot. For example, I learned the hard way is that you can stop, for example, an infinite loop in a thread, but I didn't knew that. And so you cannot kill a thread. It was my first discovery, and I was very happy to understand why. But you can kill a process. So I put my project in the Attic group, and I start a new fast project. With process and without thread, for example. And but I did several versions, one with Vertex and Kotlin, one only with JavaScript because my background is more on JavaScript. And I started another one this summer with JavaScript, Golang, and Rust. So I learned a lot of things, and WASM. So it's very
So
it's very interesting.
So that's really interesting. So you're iterating on your side project by starting again a new side project, but with the same idea, but with other technologies, other inputs.
Sometimes people outside are interested in it, and they have some question. And for example, Connor, I think he's the CTO of Suborbital. It's a company in the US working on WASM, and they provide a way to deploy easily WASM microservices everywhere on everything, whatever. And finally, I started again a new side project, several new side projects, but but more useful. I started some discovery side project of the product of Suborbital. So I have different projects. I use Git Bot to provide the project, so people can click on the button and they have all the workspace to start using the product of Suborbital because they are better than me to develop a fast, for example.
Let's discuss for a few moments about Git Bot, because I know you really like it, but it looks like it's also a bit a game changer for especially for those side projects, because it's so easy to set up a new project with Git Bot. So I will put a link, but if you can explain quickly what Git Bot is.
Yes, Git Bot is like a Visual Studio, but inside the browser. It's not only an IDE, it's like a complete computer in a browser, because you gain a workspace running in Docker with a lot of memory, with a lot of CPU. And then you can have several computers in the same browser, for example. In fact, a project is at least one computer, but you can open from the same project another computer linked to another branch, and you can work on the same project but on different branch at the same time. And you have a real power. Since I use Git Bot, my new MacBook Pro, very expensive MacBook Pro, is only a Chromebook for me. I don't need anything locally on my MacBook. So if you want to buy a new Mac, tell me.
Yeah, and you can even code from your couch, from your iPad, and
exactly. I start my fast side project with Wasm and Golang this summer, only with an iPad and Git Bot.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the developer, Jeff of Git Bot, actually only use an iPad to work.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Well, there's someone in France as well, and Ludovic is also only using an iPad to work. No?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It's the other one.
I think Ludo don't use Git Bot. He use essentially SSH.
He's more DevOps or more than a developer now. Yeah, that's right. Let me take a look at the chat because we have some reaction. VJ is asking how to get topics for your side project. I'm not sure I totally understand your question. If it's how you get IDs, maybe?
Probably, yes. Yeah. Most of the time, it's only related to what I love, because often you work on your side project even on the weekend. So it's better if related of something more lovely. And if I can use it for my job, it's a plus. But most of the time, it's about my personal interest. So if I want to make some progress on learning a new language, for example, it will become a new side project.
Yeah.
But it's never because of my boss, for example, saying you should learn this or this or this. Say okay, but I need time, and probably it won't become a side project.
Yeah. I remember I even had once an idea for a side project, but it was during the night. I was sleeping, and it was in a dream. And often, it happened often, and most of the time it's a dream, though it's a stupid idea. But this time, I don't remember what it was. It was something with pods, and but actually, when I woke up, I said, "Hey, that's a real thing. I can try." And I code that small project, and that was from a dream.
You should, every time you have an idea, try to implement it. Sometimes it's a good idea.
Yeah.
And sometimes not, but you learn a lot of things.
So let me check. We have Thierry Timobides there. He say, "Don't do this at home. That is done by an expert here." Yeah, you got an idea, create a repo, and start writing issues. The Kigorg way of doing it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and we have a question from David. Do you likely attach yourself for complex projects or smaller area coverage specialized ones? So, are your side projects big, complicated project, or do you focus more on small, specialized stuff?
I see. Very often at the beginning, the side project is becoming huge, and it means that I will have a lot of problem to manage it, to change it, to do some refactoring. So when I try now to split my project in different smaller projects. One, for example, if for my about my Wasm experiments, I discovered that I had a pattern, and I write it several times. A Wasm loader in JavaScript, one for Go, one for Rust, etc. So I extract the loader, and it was a new project, and it's a library.
Okay. Yeah.
Then it's become easier to have a project. It's become easier to handle your project, and sometimes you can reuse the library for another project.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's smart. And
but you have to think about this almost since the beginning of the project. Otherwise,
you get stuck.
After it's too late. Your project is a monster.
It's a monster, and yeah.
It's useless.
Okay. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, Sun. Yeah, because I asked you about Git Bot because I also know Sun was there, and there he is. He said, "Losers, Che is mute."
I love Eclipse Che too.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. So we love Eclipse Che. We love code ready workspaces as well. And Vijay saying, yes, Sebi, how to get ideas for your side project? So we answer that. Stefan, one side project to rules them all. Yeah. Okay, and then other discussion about Gitbot with TT Mobi and Sun are fighting on the chat. Well, not really fighting, but it's all in how do you say en bienveillance in French. Anyway, let me check the time. Yeah, we're almost done, but we can. Do you remember your first real serious side project? Do you remember what it was?
Yes, I think it was. I cannot. I'm not sure. I think I had two side projects at the same times. Well, I remember that I tried to remember the name of the developer. He's very well known in the JavaScript world. He did a library named Armchair, and it was to handle the local storage on several browsers.
Oh yes, I remember that project. I think, yeah.
Brian Leroux is the developer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I decided to write almost the same thing, but more optimized. And a friend of mine that was very, very, very good in JavaScript, and it's not my case at this moment. It was several years ago. Said to me, "But you are too presumptuous, or the name."
Yeah.
Okay, and you cannot do that. It's you cannot do something better than Brian Leroux, in fact. And I had a quick message asking something to Brian Leroux about what I did, and he said, "Yeah, it's not bad." I think it was very polite, in fact, but I was very happy, and it was my real first side project, but at the same time with the friend and with the guy very, very competent, very skilled in JavaScript. We write a book, an open source book about Play Framework. It was a huge tutorial of more than 100 pages, I think. So a side project can be a book too, in fact.
Okay, yeah. Okay, and I'm looking there. Well, that's an interesting question. Marie Mutu is asking, what will be the subject of your next side project? Just before you answer that, maybe you can tell us about your latest one. You already mentioned it a bit, but your current side project is the one with Wasm, your FAS.
Yes, my current side project is the one I started this summer. It's FAS, but the Wasm is only did in Golang.
Okay.
And I almost rewrite a kind of Kubernetes concept. So it's useless, but I learned a lot. And my new one, I started a new one, but it's related to the first one, is to find a way to do the same thing, but lighter, quicker, and more optimized, and more easy to use, but with Node.js and Rust.
Okay, cool. And So that will be your next side project as well. Continuing on this.
Continue this one, but I'm only sure that the next side project will be about function as a service or serverless.
Okay, it will be around.
I don't know if it will be the serverless platform or an application using a serverless platform, because the Atmo from Suborbital is very young, but it's totally amazing.
Okay, cool.
And I have to speak another day with you about Atmo, because you can easily deploy on Cube and do some very nice things.
Oh, cool. So let's finish on Cube, because I often have people here on the show that work with Cube, or that are members, committers of Cube. And since you know Cube as well, I always ask this question. So could you tell me what is your preferred feature of Kubernetes right now? If there's something that you say, wow, that's so cool, that really impressed me.
A very complicated question, because I use only one Kubernetes distribution, and it's Key3s.
Yeah, Key3s, yes, yeah.
And I use it on Sivo.com, so it's easier to use it. And for me, I would say Key3s is the perfect runtime for all my application.
Okay, yeah.
Because Key3s is easy to use.
Yeah.
Not since the beginning, because I had to learn some different things like manifest, etc. And it's why I really love Knative, because without manifest, but it's another topic. But for me, it's my favorite runtime to deploy what I want, and I know if I deploy with it, I will be able to scale my application, for example, very easily.
Yeah.
So probably scaling would be my favorite feature.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I think it was I don't know if Aurélie is still there, but I think that was her answer as well when I asked her what is your preferred feature of Kubernetes. Was, well, the way that you just can scale up just
scale,
by
unscale.
And scale, and yeah. And is there one feature that doesn't exist yet, but that you would love to have in Kubernetes, even if it's almost impossible? But is there?
Yeah, no, I have one, but I'm not sure it's possible. I would like to have something like OpenShift on Key3s.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
well,
what I love with OpenShift is I used OpenShift a long time ago, before OpenShift was based on Kubernetes. And what I discovered and I loved was the user experience, in fact.
Okay. Yeah.
Even if you are not good with what happened on the back, you can start doing something, deploying project, and it's very important for me.
Okay. So you know that we have code-ready containers. I don't know if you ever tried that.
But it's not on Key3s.
No, yeah, I know. Yeah, and
I can run Key3s on my Raspberry Pi. I cannot run code-ready container on a.
No, you cannot. You can run it on your really powerful Mac.
But I already run it on a small nuke, but I have 32 gigabytes of RAM.
Oh yeah.
So it's possible, but not on.
But there's something available now which is called single node OpenShift, which is for the edge, and that is maybe something you will be able to try on your nuke. I will share the link later with you. But okay, so it's almost time. I have 15 minutes left. I wanted to show the people some stuff around OpenShift, by the way. So you can stay with me if you want. And
I stay, of course.
Yeah, sure. Okay, awesome. Let me check. Okay, Sun is trolling a bit code-ready containers. He said you would need 20 Raspberry Pis. Okay, yeah. Come on. Now, I think the latest version is you need a bit less powerful machine. But if you don't have a really powerful machine and you want to try out OpenShift, I have something for you. Okay, and let me share my screen. Toot, 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 toot. Well, let me see. Share. Okay. So now we are in Inception mode, okay? You see here the Restream Studio. And what I want to show you, I think I already shared the link here. If I look for developers, is the Red Hat Developer Sandbox, okay? I will put the link in the chat here. And what is this? Okay, so maybe some of you already have a Red Hat developer account, okay? If you don't have one, you can create one for free. It's really, really easy. And you will have tons of ebooks for free. You will get all the updates for the show, for the deep dives that we do. There's a lot of resources, but we also have a sandbox. And what is the sandbox? Well, the sandbox is we give you a private OpenShift environment just for you for 30 days, okay? And after 30 days, you can just renew it again. No credit card ask, okay? And it's just for you, for the developer, so you can try out OpenShift and play with it, okay? So you create your account, you go to the URL that I typed here, Developer Sandbox, and then I say, get started in the sandbox. I just click there, okay? So I have already one, but I just have here to click Launch your Developer Sandbox for Red Hat. OpenShift, okay, almost there, and start using your sandbox. Okay, and that will bring me to a real OpenShift. Oh, I have to log in just by one click. Okay, and that will bring me to my sandbox. Okay, of course, there are some limitations. Okay, so for instance, you just have two namespaces, two projects, dev and stage. Okay, but that is more than enough to start playing. Okay, and yeah, here you can see I'm doing a lot of stuff. I'm playing with a lot of stuff. And for people who don't know the dev view of OpenShift, so in OpenShift, you have the admin view, the administrator view. That is the view for the, let me see. Why do I don't go to administrator view? Oh, yes, I'm in administrator view. Administrator view is the view where you can create, if you are an ops and you understand totally how Kubernetes works, that is the place that you would want to be. If you are a dev like me and you like to click on buttons, we have the developer view, okay? And the developer view, what you can do is, well, I'm a developer, I've made an application, and I want to deploy it. I want to deploy it and run it, okay? I don't care to create a deployment, a service, a route, because maybe I don't understand that, or I'm just lazy. And you can do that with the sandbox, okay? Well, with how do I say? With OpenShift. Here, if you go to add, let me go to this one, which is a bit empty. When you go to add, okay, here is my topology. It's almost empty. I just have here cloud service. That's for the rest of my demo. But if you go to add, you have several ways of deploying your application. Maybe you have hosted your application on Git, okay, GitHub or Gitlab. You can just pass here the URL, okay, and import is not possible here. Okay, but anyway, this one that I grabbed. But OpenShift will git clone your project. It will auto detect which technology that you are using. Is it Java? Is it Go? Is it Node.js? He will build a container, put it in the internal registry, create a deployment, and push it. Okay, so that is one way of doing that. Another way is if you have an existing container image. Okay, so let me make it this bigger. You have a container image like Sebastien. I have this one. There's one service that I have on I know I have this service on Docker Hub. Okay, it's a simple Quarkus project. I just put the name here. It's validated. I can change here the icon because Quarkus is nice. Okay, and then I can choose which type of deployment do I want to do. Do I want to do a regular Kubernetes deployment? Okay. Do I want to do a deployment config? I would not advise that. That is something specific to OpenShift. Or look at this. That is completely new since a few days. You can also deploy it as a serverless deployment using Knative. It is super cool. So look here. I just click here. I want him to create a route. If I want, I can add some environment variables. I can work on the scaling, minimum pods, maximum pods. I can do a lot of things, but let me keep just the default. I just hit create, and that will create for me a Quark. That will create for me a Knative service. So if I click here, let me take a look. Details that should be there. Where is my pod? So look, it's already there. It's already running. Look at the logs here. Quarkus project is running. Look, it started in 0.017 seconds. Okay, so remember I did that 1 minute ago. I click add. Okay, I'm missing the icon here, but that's probably a bug here. And I have a public URL. So if I go here, ooh, that doesn't sound too good. I think I have an error, but anyway. Okay, it's not up yet. Okay, demo gods are there. I don't know what my demo gods are doing, but you should be able to deploy. Let me just take a look here in my dev mode. Maybe I've got one here. Rust. Okay, greeter, this one. I think this one should work. That's exactly the same one I wanted to deploy, I think. Oh yeah, I greeter. Okay, so this is a Knative service. Okay. I can share that with you here, the link. Let me do that. Okay, there we go. So you can click on it as well. And I'm not sure why my other deployment didn't work. So this is serverless. So if no one is clicking after 1 minute, it will just kill to 0. If there are thousands of people on this stream right now and all clicking on the button on the same time, it will just scale up automatically. Okay, so that is awesome. That is one thing I want to show you. And the other thing that I want to show you is maybe you don't know anything about containers, but you know how to make a jar file. Okay, so let me maybe delete this one. And I just want to show you that because it's really cool. What you can do, I got here on my local system here, I just built a Quarkus project, okay? A Quarkus project, and I create an Uber jar, a runnable jar. Here's my jar. Look what I can do. I can drag and drop it on the topology. Hey, upload jar file. Yeah, it's a Java project. Okay, it's even a Quarkus project. Cool. Again, I can set all the details, and then I do just create. Look at this. I should have jar file is uploading, just like when you upload a video on YouTube. Okay, but this time it's a jar file, and it's getting uploaded. And then you need to build it. Should be pretty fast. You will build it. Okay, and one thing that I can tell you is that this Quarkus app needs to have a running Kafka instance to make the connection. And what I did here I have a cloud service, okay, a cloud service here, which is my managed Kafka. I don't have it open here. Yeah, I can probably open it. 6 minutes left. Yeah, should be good. Okay, so I go to console.reddit.com. That's your favorite place. Cloud.reddit.com should also work. I can go to my managed application services, and maybe you know that you can have a managed Kafka for free. Again, just create your Reddit developer account, okay, and you can create a topic Kafka instance for free. Okay, so I have one here called DevNation, and I probably have one topic here. A topic prices, okay, and then I have just did a small command to get it available here. This is a service binding, okay, and what I can do, so here he's not empty, he's not working because he cannot make a connection. I can grab, oh yeah, I have to tell the people from the UI it's not easy to grab the arrow. There it is. I can grab the arrow, bring it here, and now the cloud service that is connected to my managed service here will provide through secrets, config maps, all the configuration needed for my Quarkus app. And look at this, it's already running. View logs, okay. And I can probably go to the route of that. Let me open that. Yeah, there it is. And I do /prices.html. And so demo gods are nuts. Demo gods decided to have fun with me today. Let me see. View logs. Looks like it's okay. Wall logs. Let me check the wall logs. Cluster. You can connect. Oh, it's not yet connected, I think. Okay. So maybe I'm just too. I need to wait a bit. Okay. Let me go back to the topology. You say it's running. Okay. Let me try again. Prices. No, come on. I did it so many times since yesterday. Okay. What we can do is turn it off and on again. Look at this. Philippe was saying his preferred feature of Kubernetes is scaling up. Well, with OpenShift here, it's so satisfying. You can just scale up by pressing here. Okay, that's one of the great stuff. Okay, so let me see how far are we? View logs. Oh, looks better. It's connected to my Kafka topic. Okay, and oh, that's the wrong one. Come on. Okay, I think I think the demo gods decide. Look, oh, but it's there. /prices.html. Okay, that won't work for some reasons. I don't know. Here you should see a nice page. I did a video that I tweeted yesterday where it's working. Okay, it's probably something really bad because here the pod is running. I have the logs. I can probably even go into the terminal here. I can do curl localhost 8080 /prices.html. Streams prices even source. Yeah, it should stream the prices. Okay, for some reasons it's not working, but it's not. If you try it, it should work. Okay, I don't know what I did. Anyway, that is the small things that I wanted to show you. But again, remember the great thing with this is that you can now have the OpenShift serverless, and because Sun is there, if you have the sandbox, if you go here and you click here, poof, that will also open for you an Eclipse J, so an code-ready workspaces, just for you, again, for 30 days, okay? So that is what I wanted. It's not working because you have to turn your demo full screen. Yeah. Okay. That's it for me. Let me go back. Yeah. I don't want to answer all this. Oh, yeah, it was a bit small for you. I should have done. Oh, you should have told me that. I should have done this way. Yeah. It was too small. But anyway, okay. Hey, people, that was it for me today. Philippe, again, thank you. You will try the developer sandbox?
Of course.
Yeah. So
just send me the link.
Yeah, I will send you the link. Let me see. Let me stop the screen share so we can see each other. Stop screen sharing in big. You are big and big. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Philippe. Thank you, everyone on the chat. We are back in 15 days, I think. Next week is Tech Talk with Edson. I don't know what the topic is, but I'll be back in 15 days. I still need to find a guest, but I will find one. Until then, please stay safe. And hopefully we will be able to meet soon in real all together. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.